This should be needless to say, but all views, opinions, expressions, and curse words represent solely those of the douchebag stating them, and does not represent Mike and Adam's employers, family, churches, congressmen or women, dogs, cats, guinea pigs, wives, or child. None of this should be taken seriously, and if you do, we appreciate your concern, but not really, and really cannot and will not change anything about our process. Sorry, Mom. Welcome to The Skinny with Mike and Adam. Two well-informed adolescent men in search of an audience. Any of the DNC speeches did you see this week?
Zero. I haven't seen. Well, I saw part of the Clinton one. I didn't even give a shit about. So Obama's was like 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was, because I got up to brush my teeth at the beginning, because I realized it was 9:50.
Well, he is the president. I'm sure he has a lot to say.
And Clinton spoke for, I think, 50?
Yeah.
5, maybe?
Yeah, we'll talk more about that.
I wish
when
that
we
I had
get
seen
there.
Eva Longoria and Scarlett Johansson.
Oh, yeah.
Because I really care what they think.
I'll vote for big government if they were president.
President Johansson, tear down this wall.
Tear down my pants. Hey, everybody. Little hiccup there. Welcome to The Skinny.
There we go.
There we go. I messed that up. So, hey, I am your humble co-host, Mike. Joining me for the 11th week in a row, my good friend, Adam. How you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I had a long night last night of laughter and a lot of pedophile humor, incest jokes, AIDS. A whole bunch of stuff that we'll get to later.
A lot of godless sodomites.
It was a godless sodomite kind of evening.
Well, I can't wait to hear about it later. So, actually, you know what? Before I get into our spiel about why people should continue to subscribe and like us on Facebook and such, you had a little quiz that you wanted to quiz me on.
I do, but do we want to go through the semantics first?
Oh, sure. Okay.
Now that everybody's turned off our podcast because
so it doesn't really matter. So we'll do the semantics first. So, hey, if you haven't already, you should like us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Skinny with Mike and Adam. You can also subscribe to us on YouTube. We're going to continue to be on YouTube for a while. We're going to look into creating a blogspot page where you can actually stream and download in the same post.
Yeah. And those of you who downloaded our podcast and listened to it on their iPods or Zunes.
Thank you for on there. Yeah, some of you they don't knock the Zune. I had a Zune for years and it was great.
Is it supposed to take about 10 minutes to download?
Depends on the servers, dude.
Okay, because that's how long it took mine, and I meant to ask you if that was normal.
Yeah, well, hopefully when we do make the change to the Blogspot page, hopefully that'll remedy it. I think Blogspot maybe has better servers than Podomatic.
Yeah, not sure about Podomatic, but
yeah, we'll give it a try. But thank you guys for downloading the show, and hopefully that was useful to you. Maybe it was a better way for you guys to listen to the show. And if you do enjoy the show, you should probably share it with your friends. Let them know on Facebook how great this show is.
Mike and I can't share it with our friends. That's kind of the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, we tell our friends, and they're like, "Yay!" But the other people we know,
they'll humor us. They'll like our posts, and they'll humor us.
And our acquaintances, we can't talk. We can't tell them about it.
Pretty much.
It's hard enough to even get our families to care about it.
No, I barely care about it.
I listened to it twice last week, and I was laughing.
I have to listen to it like 3 times because I do all the post-production.
By then, you're just like, I hate every joke.
I hate this show so much. No, I kid. But if you guys enjoy the show, please share it with your friends. Please help us spread the word and help us get a bigger audience. And if you're interested, and if you do have questions for us, please submit them below. Comment on our Facebook page. Please comment on our YouTube page. Inbox us if you want us to read it anonymously on the air. But please let us know, because episode 9 we had a great. Was it episode 9? Yes. Episode 9 we had a great discussion, all based off a user submitted question. So, with that, I think we'll go into not the feed, but Adam had a quiz for me here.
Yes, after we discussed a little bit of the Clint Eastwood.
Yes, last week on our RNC special.
Yes, which went everywhere. I mean, they had Twitter followers. The chair had 40,000 Twitter followers in the first day after the whole Clint Eastwood thing. I found a picture on the internet that said Clint Eastwood and chair for 2016 presidential.
But they didn't get along. They didn't get along very well. So I don't know how they could make.
Maybe they'll make it work.
Okay,
they'll make it work.
They have 4 years to
and
to
I
make it
did
work.
something funny that I don't think anybody else got by posting the picture of Marty McFly from Back to the Future 3 and put that he was voting for Romney in the 1800s. Because as most of you should know, in Back to the Future 3, Marty McFly goes back to 1885 and tells everybody his name is Clint Eastwood. So the whole movie, they're calling him Mr. Eastwood.
Yeah.
So that's why I found that picture.
Yeah, that's a dated reference. I didn't even catch that.
My wife got it because she looked at it and said, "What's this mean?" And I had to explain it to her.
Jokes are funny when you explain them. Yeah.
And then our friend Sarah also liked it. So other than that, apparently nobody else got it. But anyway, I was in my search for these things. I was able to come across a Clint Eastwood or Grandpa Simpson quiz.
And Adam, you've already taken this quiz.
I did. I took it because I could. You could mark your answer and it would tell you yes or no.
Okay.
If you got it wrong, it would say dough, and if you got it correct, it would say you made my day.
And you did very well on this.
I think I got like maybe 12 out of 15 right.
Okay. So let's go over this before we get into the feed.
So
I want to test my
I wanted
Eastwood
to quiz
knowledge.
Mike, and I didn't even tell him about it ahead of time and until now. So okay, number 1, if you want a guarantee, buy a toaster.
Grandpa.
Wrong.
Oh, whoa!
That was Clint Eastwood.
What movie was that? Is that a movie?
No, these aren't even movie quotes.
It was just
Clint
quotes.
Eastwood. These are like Clint Eastwood quotes.
In his senile days now.
I don't think that they're from his speech or not, but just other times in his life. Number 2, what can I do for you? Eat something green, vote for someone brown.
Eat something green, vote for something brown?
Yeah.
Grandpa?
Wait, he says, what can I do for you? Eat something green, vote for someone brown.
Grandpa?
That is Grandpa, yes.
Okay, sweet.
I picked Clint Eastwood for that one. I got it wrong.
That does sound like something he'd say at a speech. Okay.
Number 3, you remind me of a poem I can't remember, and a song that may never have existed, and a place I'm not sure I've ever been to.
That's definitely Grandpa.
Yes,
yeah.
I got that one right.
All right.
Us Simpson nerds remember that one well. I don't remember which episode.
I think was he saying that to Patty or Selma?
Might have. Oh, well,
I think he was saying it to Selma when he got married to her.
Okay.
Please let us know in the comments below if we got that wrong.
Number 4. You should know this one pretty easily. Why are you people avoiding me? Does my withered face remind you of the grim specter of death?
Yeah, that would be Grandpa, of course.
Yes.
Yeah.
Number 5. I tried being reasonable. I didn't like it.
Clint Eastwood.
Very good.
All right.
That one I got wrong.
Okay.
Number 6. I have a very strict gun control policy. If there's a gun around, I want to be in control of it.
That sounds like something Homer would say, but I'm gonna say Grandpa.
That was Clint Eastwood.
Ah, I'm pretty sure Homer said something similar along that line at one point in his life.
There was the whole gun control episode where he, walks around and shoots all the lights in his house. And number 7. You'll know this one very easily. I'm filled with piss and vinegar. At first, I was just filled with vinegar.
That's Grandpa.
I say that line at least once a day, especially anytime that I'm needing to go to the bathroom. I always say it.
It's a brilliant line.
Or I use it on my dogs. Number 8. You should know this one too. He used to be smart as a chimp, but now he's dumb as a monkey.
Eastwood?
Nope.
Oh.
That's Grandpa. Because he says that about Homer when they find all of his old papers and they find out that he was like an A student until he hit 4th grade.
Yeah.
So, he used to be smart as a chimp, but now he's dumb as a monkey. Number 9. There's only one way to have a happy marriage, and as soon as I learn what it is, I'll get married again.
Eastwood.
Very good.
Okay.
I got that one wrong. I said Grandpa.
How many times has Grandpa been married? Like twice?
At least once. I can't
Well, he
remember
got married
the second
to.
time.
He married Selma, but of course he was married to.
How about a crazy wedding?
Yeah.
Or something happened.
Sorry for the clip show.
Okay. So, and Clint Eastwood's been married like 5 times,
Yeah.
I think, with 8 children from so many women. So, not Mr. Family Values. Number 10. If you think it's going to rain, it will.
Eastwood.
Very good.
All right.
Number 11. In school, I could hear the leaves rustle and go on a journey.
Eastwood?
Yes.
Okay.
Number 12. Nothing wrong with shooting as long as the right people get shot.
Grandpa.
Nope.
No.
That was Eastwood.
As long as the right people get shot.
As long
Okay.
as the right people get shot.
Okay.
I don't. That might be from a movie. I don't know.
It sounds like it
You
might
can't
be,
have
yeah.
a Clint Eastwood movie without him shooting someone, right?
Oh, yeah.
Even that new movie with Amy Adams he's in, I'm sure he shoots somebody.
That's a new one, I think, yeah.
It's called Trouble with the Curve.
His last movie that he directed, he shot a bunch of chinks. And he called them chinks.
Get
to
off
their
my lawn,
face.
chink. And then by the end, it's like, I love you, chink.
I love chinks.
Morning, chink. Okay. Number 13.
Okay.
I'm an elk, a mason, a communist. I'm also the president of the Gay and Lesbian Alliance for some reason.
That's Grandpa Simpson.
One of my favorite lines
Oh,
of
yeah.
all time.
That's when he was in the Stonecutters, right?
Yeah. Number 14. You're a gutsy daredevil with a give 'em hell attitude and a 4th grade education. You could have made sergeant.
That is Grandpa.
Yes.
Yeah. All right.
From the, what was it, the hellfish? What
Yes,
was the name
hellfish,
of?
yeah.
Like silverfish, hellfish, one of those. Number 15, last one. They say marriages are made in heaven, but so is thunder and lightning.
Oh, Eastwood. I don't recognize that. It must be Eastwood.
Yeah, it's Eastwood.
Oh,
I got it
yeah.
wrong.
All
Sorry,
right.
I didn't cut and paste this correctly.
So I got 11 correct.
Okay.
And you're
think-
better me than 12. That's
Let's see, How many
awesome.
does did I have here? So yeah, I also got 11.
Oh, nice. All right.
But you and I got a couple of the different ones wrong.
So it just shows that it just goes to show you how senile that Clint Eastwood seems to be going.
I didn't even know that Fox News was like praising Clint Eastwood for being so witty and avant-garde, and it's so Eastwood.
Oh yeah, that's
So-
that's just the Fox News
I
shtick.
didn't even know that they were saying that until today when I watched The Daily Show from last night, because they refrained from showing a bunch of Fox News clips for their whole week at the DNC
Oh, of course.
until last night.
Yeah.
So that was very, very interesting.
Well, thank you, Clint Eastwood, for giving us decades of jokes to
and
going
getting
forward.
back into the limelight for the younger generation.
All for the wrong reasons too.
Yeah.
Whatever. And with that, we're going to
Academy
go
Award
right
winner.
into the feed. Hey, feeders. Feeders? I
Fill
don't
my
like that.
feeder.
We got to come up with names for our audience listeners.
I've called us the
Skinnites
or the skinny pants people.
skinny pants people. Oh,
Yeah.
I like that.
Now that I have skinny pants.
Yeah, you do.
I wore them last night
Oh.
to my incest-ridden debauchery,
Which we will talk about
program. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're gonna start off this feed with sad news.
Ah,
You like sad news, Adam?
I do.
Okay. Then you're gonna love this story. Well, Academy Award-winning actor Michael Clark Duncan. You know him from such songs as "Kissed by a Rose." That is a local news joke. But Michael Clark Duncan actually. Let's let Adam collect himself for a minute.
Sorry.
Michael Clark Duncan actually lost his life this past week due to complications arising from a heart attack that he had back in July. He never really quite recovered from that, and so our thoughts are going to be with his friends and family.
And we all learned about him from The Green Mile.
Correct.
Which
yeah.
I think, was he nominated for
That
like,
was
Academy
his
Awards and
Academy
stuff?
Award winning performance.
Yeah, I saw that movie and it was interesting.
Oh yeah.
And he was a pretty scary guy. But he's been in different stuff here and there.
Yeah, he does dramas, he does comedies, he does horrors, he does comic book films.
didn't-
He was in Sin City,
Ooh.
and he was also
okay.
the Kingpin in Daredevil.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's a well versed actor. He can do any genre basically. And
And luckily, they're not making any more Daredevil movies.
well,
So
they're
he doesn't
trying
need
to they're trying to
come back.
reboot that. So we should we should be
Ah.
thankful to the creators of the first one for making it so awful that we didn't have to deal with it anymore.
So hopefully Ben Hufleck will not be back.
Yeah. So that happened. There's not really much to say about it.
Yeah. Again, we always like to start off our podcast with a lot of bad news.
Yes.
So
Because it can only go up from here.
Yeah.
So sorry to Michael Clark Duncan's friends and family. He seemed like a great guy. I saw every time I saw him in an interview, whether it be on G4 or like on a late night talk show, he always just seemed like a genuinely good person.
He was a very happy guy.
Yeah, very happy, very big-hearted. Yeah.
And last time we talked about Edward Furlong.
Yes.
And we said that he played the Messiah in Terminator 2.
Correct.
And he was also in Terminator 3, I learned, but
Furlong?
on that later. Yeah,
in like
briefly,
a flashback?
as himself, or
okay.
as John Connor.
Oh, okay.
And then so Michael Clark Duncan played the Messiah in The Green Mile,
right?
Because he like broke their death penalty electric chairs.
Yeah, exactly.
So I mean, this is like full circle now.
Oh, yay!
And
the skinny, where we're bringing messiahs together.
Edward Furlong was in American History X.
True. Yes.
And our last episode was called American History Ass.
Yes, that's right.
So I was just saying, like, we didn't even realize.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I didn't get that connection.
Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring us up to speed on that. So, and the seal reference, maybe we should.
Yeah, it was a local news
in Buffalo this week.
Yeah.
Who we're talking about Michael Clark Duncan, but showing pictures of Seal, saying. Like pictures of him with Heidi Klum, and like that
is beyond a hiccup. That's just a messed up.
And as they said on the Soup, like they submitted an apology for showing pictures of Michael Jordan.
Oh Jesus!
The Skinny steals your jokes.
That's what we do here at the Skinny. So, anyways, if you're living in the Hollywood, California area and you're in the mood for raw country and spoken word poetry, you might be able to pick up a vinyl album recorded by none other than mass murderer Charles Manson.
Now we have to remember that mass murderer is a term that we use lightly because he didn't actually commit
Loosely,
the murders. He just somehow convinced a bunch of 19 and 20-year-old girls to go commit murder. And I don't know what he was doing, probably like masturbating angrily in his car or something like that. But
well, he does look like a dirty Santa Claus with a swastika.
But
on
he
his
was
forehead.
so dreamy back in the 70s,
oh, yeah.
remember?
I would do anything he said.
Me too. So where was this happening?
So this happened in Hollywood, California, at the Beauty is Pain Boutique.
Beauty is Pain Boutique. Co-owner Manuel Vasquez, 26, has so far sold a couple of hundred copies of vinyl recordings, which he retails for $18 and includes never-before-heard tracks of Manson playing guitar. Some of the material which Vasquez said he obtained from an old friend, in quotes, of the convict, dates back to the 1980s, which is kind of weird because he's been locked up since 1972-ish.
I wish we could research this further, how these recordings came to be.
I know. It's him singing and playing guitar and also reciting some poetry and spoken word type stuff. He sounds like an old blues man or a raw country singer.
Vasquez said,
Yeah. So it goes on to say that many other bands have covered Manson songs, such as the Beach Boys, Guns N' Roses, and Marilyn Manson, oddly enough. Which makes sense.
It does make sense. I mean, he did steal his name.
And Vasquez said that Charles Manson told him that he thought it was well put together. Those were his exact words.
And Vasquez and Manson are actually pen pals.
I guess so.
Strangely enough.
And for some reason Vasquez doesn't think Manson got a fair trial back in the days. It says, I wouldn't say he's innocent, but he was denied his constitutional rights in court. Something about his Sixth Amendment right to a fair trial.
Goodness gracious.
I don't know what amendment rights those would be, but
well, maybe
pretty sure
that's a different topic for a different day, I guess.
Maybe.
So, if you guys are actually in the Hollywood area, please pick up a vinyl record. Let us know what you think of it, because I'm not buying it.
But I was able to procure some of the lyrics from some
of
the songs that Charles Manson wrote. So I don't know exactly how the melody goes, so I'm just going to kind of make it up as we go.
Well, it is
here.
kind of spoken word, so you probably just kind of speak it anyway.
Yeah. So again, he was tried in 1972 and was sentenced to, I think he was sentenced to the death penalty at first, but
Correct.
California got rid of the death penalty at that time, and he was changed to a
life sentence.
Yeah, life sentence, and then California reinstated the death penalty again in 1978.
And really quick, Manson was actually denied parole this past April
for the 15th time in a row.
12th time in a row.
Oh, sorry.
And the next time he'll be eligible for parole is in 15 years when he'll be 92.
90.
So good luck there, Manson. I'm sure you'll do it.
But some of the songs that I was able to find,
right.
So I was just like, I was blown away by some of these lyrics. They just, I really don't know if it was his thoughts or there might have been another, there might have been something else that was kind of contributing to his way of thinking.
Well, please share.
Okay, so like 2, 3, 4. Oh, my cat told me to murder the Jews. Oh, the cat told me that I won't have the blues. Then the dog came along and he slithered away. Then he ate all the chips and I'll kill him someday.
Beautiful.
That was one of my favorite ones.
It brought a tear to my eye.
The next one, track 2. Pickup trucks and swastikas, now there's a life for me. Someday when I'm famous, the girls will flock to me. They like my style, they like my way. And if I get inside their head, they'll kill for me, and we'll all see that the Jews need to be dead.
Very subtle. Very subtle. I like that.
Now the next one was a ballad. You know, track 3 is always the ballad.
Yeah, you got to bring down the pacing.
Right,
yeah.
right. So I think it had kind of a Conway Twitty kind of vibe to it. So that's what I was going with when I was coming up with the
Ladies and gentlemen, Conway Twitty.
Conway Twitty. Why am I so lonely? She just won't come around. When I told her that I'd kill her, she up and left town.
Aww, it's a romance.
Now the bed is so empty, and here I do cry. But the Jews made me do it. Now, thanks to California abolishing the death penalty in 1972 and then reestablishing it in 1978 after my sentence was converted to life in prison, I can't ever die.
Oh, yay! That was beautiful. That is a ballad. That is a ballad. You know, that deserves to be played at all weddings.
And then for the EP, we just rounded out with this last one here. There's just a common theme that I see.
Yeah, I can't put my finger on it, but there is some sort of. It is like brings together
so this was
like
the last one that I was able to muster up. So, in my perfect world, I see a lot of dead Jews. They're keeping us down with their large-nosed views. My cat and I will fight on this way, 'cause little Adolf wants to retire at Auschwitz someday.
Aww.
So, I mean, I would go buy this album for $18.
Yeah, it's worth every penny. Would you say it's a concept record?
I think so. It's talking about a lot of stuff that I think he grew up in his environment.
We got to listen to it a couple dozen times, then we can actually get the theme.
As you know, with me and listening to albums, I like to listen to them for a solid week and then take a week off because I have to see it, touch it, taste it, eat it, chew it, digest it, and pass it through my lower intestine.
Yes.
So
through the colon.
Yes, exactly.
The butthole.
The butthole and into the toilet. I thought it was cute that he named his cat Little Adolf.
Yeah, it was adorable.
Who speaks to him?
He's a genius, musical genius. I'm sure.
Musical genius, sociopathic genius.
Yeah,
and as he said before,
his words just speak to me.
They do.
Yeah.
And he had stardom and right there in the palm of his hand. And he said no, thank you.
He wouldn't let it corrupt him.
He wouldn't let it corrupt.
He's a smart man.
I'm too good for this. I'd rather rot away in prison.
And he did.
Yay!
Hey, you know who else might be rotting in prison sometime soon? Well, there's a doctor by the name of Daniel Baldi, who was actually the physician of former Slipknot bassist Paul Gray. Now, I don't know if anybody remembers this, but it was kind of a big story back in 2010 when Paul Gray was pronounced dead from Slipknot.
We're all in shock.
Yeah. My world was rocked because I am such a big Slipknot.
Were you a Slipknot fan?
No.
I'm being
Does my sarcasm not come out?
I wasn't sure.
Okay.
Because you like a lot of like scary music like that.
Yeah, but the Slipknot tries too hard.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I've never heard an entire Slipknot album.
Yeah, so this article from the Huffington Post states a Des Moines doctor has been charged with 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter for allegedly prescribing large amounts of narcotic painkillers to patients who fatally overdosed. Now, Paul Gray wasn't. So, according to this article, Paul Gray wasn't the first one. It's actually one of 8, which this has happened to.
Oh, so
doctor. Paul Gray was actually under his care. He was a known drug addict, but he continued to prescribe these large amounts of narcotics to him, painkillers.
So did it say the type of painkiller?
No, it
Like
didn't, because this is actually it might have stated in some old 2010 article, which I didn't bother to look up, but this is still a developing story. So as far as we know right now, I should have put allegedly in there somewhere, but allegedly
manslaughter,
alleged involuntary manslaughter. This is very familiar because who's the name of the doctor that allegedly, or not allegedly, he actually did kill Michael Jackson according to a jury of his peers.
Don Cheadle?
Yes, Don Cheadle. Michael Clark Duncan. It was
Yes.
Michael Clark Duncan. No, Conrad Murray. So this
yes, not Conway Twitty. Conrad Murray.
yeah, so this is still a developing story. To summarize, what we want to give advice to all doctors out there is don't treat the famous.
Let Slipknot bass players just go the way of nature.
Yeah,
it's okay.
We call that the Darwin Award.
I think so. Survival of the fittest.
We'll bring you any developments on this story.
As we're telling our younger listeners,
yes,
just don't start doing drugs to begin with.
Yes, don't do that.
You can smoke marijuana. Well, when it's legalized.
If there are any developments, we'll be sure to bring it up to you guys.
I mean, it's just like the psychologist that was treating, Beaker, who went and shot up the Dark Knight movie theaters.
Exactly.
Who's now in trouble. Like, why didn't you do anything to prevent this? And there's not much they could have done.
There's always signs when there's like tragedy like that. People always say like, "Oh, how could somebody just up and do this?" There's always signs, and now we keep finding out Beaker did leave signs, and then nobody really acted on them. They
couldn't
stop.
understand what he was saying. Cause
me. Oh God.
Me. Shoot at the.
So speaking of cartoon characters who you don't understand what they're talking about, this past week was the DNC, and this is the last. This is the last.
That's an awkward transition for sure.
I tried my best.
That's interesting because Bill Clinton is starting to look a little bit more like a howdy doody.
Yeah, exactly.
A white-haired howdy doody.
Exactly. So, nothing really happened at the DNC. I mean, like,
if you didn't know any better, you'd think that the country was just kind of booming and glowing, and life was perfect for everybody.
I know it is for me.
Yeah.
But yeah, the only reason we talked at length, and we put it on the plate for the RNC last week, is because of the whole Ron Paul thing and the whole delegates walking out of the convention. But
as Mike Huckabee said, get over it, Ron Paul supporters.
Yeah, why don't you guys just get over it? We cheated.
Give me another sandwich, God.
It's not like we cheated. Oh. So like we said, the DNC was this past week. Not much happened. I mean, Bill Clinton gave a speech,
it's still
which
going.
The Democrats seem to love a lot.
And Jennifer Granholm quoted King.
Right.
We must move forward, not backwards,
but always twirling,
upward, not forward. And she went crazy. I don't know what sort of drug she was on, but she was way too excited. And the bad thing was that as you're watching it and you're seeing her kind of just slowly go more and more crazy, but the crowd is responding the way they are, so she thinks she's like on top of the world.
Oh yeah,
she thought she was
just at her. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Bill Clinton gave his speech. The summary of his speech was basically, Obama didn't do a great job, but hey, who could fix the mess that Bush left?
I can.
I can. You know who could? A competent president.
Ooh. So,
Mike and
Adam for president.
Mike and Adam for president. We'll
be the green libertarians.
The green libertarians. Oh, I like that.
We can make it work as soon as we bring in the podcast money.
We'll get
going on our political campaigns.
Listeners, please donate to Mike and Adam's bank accounts.
As we discussed, the Greens want to reduce the deficit, the military spending by 30%.
Right.
Libertarians want to reduce it by 43%.
Under Gary Johnson's plan, yes.
Yes. So you and I together, do we have to meet in the middle, 38%?
Or we can combine it. We can combine it to
73%.
3%.
Ooh. I'll raise you one better. 74.
74 and $1.
Yes, we'll do it, and that will be our only platform. We'll just get in, get out.
It'll just be us bickering on stage, and but we're for the same party.
Exactly. We'll be like James K. Polk was.
Yeah,
he got in. He did what he had to do in 4 years. He repealed Van Buren Care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That's again a Stephen Colbert joke.
Yeah.
I laughed about that all week.
So really, the Democrats had their 4-year circle jerk. This year was for
Stroke
Obama.
Fest.
Stroke Fest. I like
Yeah,
that.
because circle jerk was kind of the theme of last week's episode.
All right. Oh, fucking Romney's so good. So the DNC.
Oh my God.
So any thoughts on the DNC before we continue?
The next 2 months are going to be interesting. Mark Takano running for Congress in this area. He came to my house last week.
What?
And yeah, he was door-to-dooring at my house, and I answered the door, and he specifically asked to speak to my wife by name.
Is she a registered Democrat?
She's an independent.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know.
Trying to win her over or something?
I guess, because like now my neighborhood is filled with Mark Takano signs. And
Wow.
he was looking for volunteers and asking for her vote, and do we want to sign?
And judging on your lawn...
Well, she said no to the sign.
Oh, okay.
But, she's probably going to do some volunteer work, I guess.
Without looking at his platform or his
She
views?
looked at his platform.
Oh, okay.
She thought he was cool.
Oh, okay.
He's Japanese.
Oh, cool.
And we're like...
I got it. Oh,
it
the
looked
Japanese
like,
guy. I got that. I got his postcard.
Okay, cool. It looked like we were surprised our dogs were barking at him because we're like, it looks like Mike is here, just in a nicer shirt.
Because all Asians look the same. Yeah.
Like, you guys, we told our dogs, you like Asians, be quiet.
So any last thoughts on the DNC? Do you have any?
Not
any
really.
thoughts?
It's just it
It
just
happened.
was what it was, and
Yeah, there was a little bit of a controversy because my favorite journalist Ben Swan, he was reporting on some footage that Fox News took of the teleprompter, and they were reading.
Oh, the whole Via Ragosa God thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why aren't we talking about that?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, that should have been on our plate today.
Well, that should. Well, I mean, like, there's not really much to talk about. It happened. It happened at the RNC too, when they were talking. When they were trying to seat the delegates. Fucking Boner was reading teleprompter, and he wasn't even going to give him a voice. So I mean, and it happened to the DNC, and that sucks.
And that made Via Ragosa look bad.
Oh yeah.
He's like, what do I do? The eyes have it.
I'm gonna read it again.
Yeah.
Oh,
That was
Jesus.
totally ridiculous. And it just, again, shows us that secularism is on the rise.
Yes, exactly.
And that's okay.
So, maybe you
got
guys might want to...
The dude with the shirt that says Arab Americans for Obama is yelling, nay! They just kept showing him over and over
Oh,
again.
boy. Yeah, so maybe you guys might want to consider, who you're voting for this.
Consider?
Yeah.
How do you consider who you're voting for?
Oh, well, the TV just said to vote for Obama, so I just do
did
that.
some Wikipedia search on the Green Party, and I learned more about them this past week
Exactly,
than I
right?
knew 10 years ago when I signed up for them.
You want to talk about the Green Party really quick before we move on?
I forgot everything. I was going to print it out.
So
I
that's a
could read
no.
it, but
All right.
Jill Stein is running, not Roseanne Barr.
So if you guys have any questions or comments on the DNC, please feel free to let us know. Whatever.
Please do.
We'll get back to that. So that was our feed this week. So we actually got a very happy topical on the plate this week. Maybe you guys are tired of our rantings, but we'll get to that when we get more circle jerking. That's why we have no listeners.
I know. We need to just make this a Christian podcast. We get so many listeners.
Christ is died.
Christ is risen.
Christ is on the plate. Okay, so on the plate this week.
I thought my introduction to the plate last week of singing "Touching My Plate, Touching You" was pretty funny.
I like that.
From Neil Diamond.
It was very subtle.
I thought so too.
So on the plate this week, there's a new movie coming out soon. It was a big hit at Sundance, and it was by one of my favorite stand-ups named Mike Birbiglia. The name of the movie is Sleepwalk with Me, and taking inspiration from the themes of that movie, it explores themes of difficult breakups, the actual concept of marriage itself, and relationships in general. So I haven't seen the movie yet. Adam hasn't seen the movie yet. It's actually a limited release.
Only seen that brief clip.
Yeah, and are you interested in seeing it?
I didn't really quite understand what it was about just from the clip.
It's about his stand-up. It's kind of like self-autobiographical.
Okay.
It's kind of it's based off of his life, and when he was in a difficult relationship, he was in a relationship for very too long, and his family and friends kept pushing into marriage, and that because of all the stress, he started sleepwalking and putting himself in dangerous situations.
Whoa.
So I mean, it's definitely a interesting movie, and it got rave reviews in Sundance.
Was he taking Ambien?
I don't.
About that?
Well, we'll have to find out when we watch Sleepwalk, right?
And as we discussed earlier, we're not going to find out until it's on Netflix.
Exactly. Yeah, it's in limited release. It's not being played anywhere near a theater near us.
Yeah.
But in taking inspiration in the themes of that movie, I thought we could probably talk about our thoughts on breakups, marriage, relationships in general. What do you think?
Ooh, okay.
Well, you don't even have a choice because we're already hearing on the plate. So
yeah,
it's a good thing you said yes. It's a good thing you said yes. Then.
I disagree. I say nay. It's 50-50.
The ayes have the
ayes
floor.
have it.
The ayes have the floor. We're going to talk about it.
Okay.
So, Adam, why don't you? I mean, do you have any stories of difficult breakups in your life?
The only breakup I had to go through was an email.
Wow.
3 weeks after 9/11, as if I wasn't grieving enough.
Okay, 3 weeks after 9/11. Is it because of 9/11 or is it because of?
It was because that
your
girl
Nickelback CD that you bought.
It might have been the Nickelback, because I was listening to that while the breakup was going on.
Right.
But also, she was too connected to her, meth-using ex-boyfriend still.
Oh, boy.
This was like 11 years ago. Almost exactly. I'm pretty sure it was September.
Yeah.
Because it was 3 weeks after 9/11.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah, that was rough. It was.
How did you take it?
I wrote back and said, "You're really stupid for still liking your ex-boyfriend who used to hit you and use meth."
Used to?
And then she wrote me back like, "You don't got to be a dick about it."
You're the one who broke up with me by email.
Yeah.
Who's being a dick here?
So, and this was like a 3-month relationship.
Okay.
So it wasn't like it was that much. And really, when I look back on it, I think she was just looking
Kind of petty.
looking to bang.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that it was going to be just that. It would have been nice if she had told me. But
So you don't have any experience with difficult breakups then? I mean, of
well,
all your breakups
that was
been-
about it. Luckily,
Okay.
she didn't like to be confrontational, and
Okay.
I didn't want to be confrontational, and that was it.
Oh, well, good for you.
Like,
not
I lost my virginity, so
Nice.
it was all right.
You got what you wanted, right? Am I right?
Finally,
Give me
fuck.
some. Wiggle, wiggle,
Fucking
wiggle.
A.
Oh, well, I guess pretty much all breakups I've had have been really difficult. And, it's hard for me to, when I look back on it, to see if maybe I was overreacting. I don't know. Well, maybe you can tell me. You're
This
you're
was like
the
teenage years, right?
well, young adult, teenager.
Young adult.
As I've dated before I was married. So
Well, yeah, but you and April were together when you were pretty young still, right?
21 to 22, something like that. Yeah.
Okay, sorry. I
So,
thought it was earlier.
The first time I think probably my first girlfriend, who I also lost my virginity to, which is probably why maybe I overreacted, maybe got
Is
too
it
attached
safe
to
to
it.
call her a whore?
Well, you tell me. So here we go. So
I want to because I know she hurt you. So
yeah.
I'm just like, stupid fucking whore.
Adam will kick your ass
Yeah.
if you're listening.
Wait, no, we want you to keep listening.
No,
I love you. No, I hate you.
okay.
I love
you,
and
you can
hate.
continue. You can continue to listen, I guess.
Anyway, go ahead.
But this was the first girl that I had, real feelings for, and I was really infatuated with, and I just want to spend all my time with her, and it was a good time. But come to find out, I was cheated on. Yeah.
Was this in Guam?
No, this was here.
This was here? This was
Yeah.
banning a
Yeah.
banning chick?
Banning chick.
Ugh.
Those banning chicks.
The further you get away from the ocean, the less oxygen gets to the brain, and
that's
the
a good
more
point,
bad
yeah.
decisions
Yeah.
happen.
So she cheated on me, and I didn't take it well. I mean, I cried about it.
What did you do? How did you cope?
I cried like a lot.
Wow.
Not just one day. I cried like
Is that
for
when you
a
started-
couple weeks.
Is that when you started listening to like The Used and writing lyrics?
Well,
on
that
the
was
wall?
that was before that, but
Oh, okay.
writing lyrics on the wall.
Sorry,
that was
you-
when I moved out.
Okay. You had the lyrics on the wall, and that was
But that was for stylistic.
that was the most emo thing.
That was the stylistic. That was a stylistic choice. That wasn't because of any
Okay.
relationship. But I didn't take that well at all. I mean, I was just I was crushed. I was heartbroken. I mean, I had this.
Did you think it was going to last forever?
Well, you're 16, 17.
Which is the hard thing to
I know.
tell a 16-year-old that this relationship is not going to last. There's a very, very slim chance.
In
that-
hindsight, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
I wish I could have told it, get over it. I mean, it's kind of, but the thing is, I didn't get over it. Like for weeks and weeks, I would keep
Wow.
asking, trying to make it work again, and trying to see if she wanted
That's the
to
worst.
talk to me, or,
Yeah.
try to explain. I just wanted to apologize. I kept kind of
Why? Just tell me why.
and I was sort of in denial that she did it too.
Ooh.
So now, that was. So I'm just kind of doing it to myself, right?
Oh man.
Yeah, I overreacted,
You're
didn't
like,
I?
I'm on my way to pick you up. We're still going to TGI Fridays, right? Mike,
I'm calling the cops now.
Yeah.
It was, and that was difficult too. So that lasted for.
Did you have anybody to confide in, or did you have to keep it all to yourself? Because I know the communication between you and your family is not always
non-existent.
The best, and I don't know if you had any close friends at the time.
Well, I had my friend Rebecca, and you know Rebecca,
yes.
and and she wasn't very helpful, to be honest.
It's like, fuck that bitch.
But she was also friends with the girl I was with too.
Oh,
So
that's a little tough. So she's like in the middle.
See,
of it.
I tried my best not to put her in the middle, but I mean, like, I didn't really have anybody to talk to, and like I would tell her these things, and she would
Like, why
she
his
would try to
face-
snap me out, and she wouldn't try to sugarcoat it. She would try to snap me out of reality too, and snap me into reality, and let me know just let it go. I mean, it's done. It's over with. You gotta
okay to
move on. Yeah, I mean,
Yes.
like, but I didn't
At
listen to her.
16, I mean,
My hormonal 16.
Yeah.
But I gave her my virginity. It was
I'll never get it back. Once you give it away, it's gone.
I just want it back.
I had a friend who he lost his virginity and then decided later on that he wanted to kind of re-virginize himself because he wasn't happy about the
Through
girl
like
that he lost it to.
religion or something?
Through just like he was going to just start telling people again that I'm still a virgin.
Oh, okay.
And
It doesn't work that way, buddy.
Yeah, I know, but I thought it was an interesting concept because he was just so kind of not happy that he had taken the path that he took. So like he was just like, I made a bad mistake with that thing my first time.
Well, you don't have to say that.
And I'm just if anybody asks him, just be like, yeah, I'm still a virgin. It's cool.
You don't have to say you're a
But
virgin.
you got to remember, he was 16 at the time.
Okay. Yeah,
People
the
make bad
hormonal
decisions when they're 16.
Yeah, I'm telling you this story, and I'm trying to tell you, hey, 16-year-old, just don't tell people.
And you know what
Yeah,
Adam
whatever.
was thinking while he was listening to it?
Yeah.
Was, oh my God, why don't I get to have the same kind of story?
Aw.
I sure would have liked to fuck, and I would have told anybody that I'm not a virgin, and I
Hey,
wouldn't have cared anymore.
everyone, I'm not a virgin.
And you know who he lost his virginity to? The girl I was in love with
Oh,
at the time
oh,
when I was 16.
oh.
So
Wait,
anyway,
what?
moving on.
Okay, that's good. the one you're talking about in the email, right?
No, that was a different one.
Oh,
That was years later.
oh, okay. Well, good.
Years later, when I finally lost my virginity.
Oh, okay. Well, good for you, man.
Years. Okay, 4 years, but still
Okay.
a long time.
Well, so I mean, like, and I don't think I take breakups easily. Period. I think I'm very. I don't know what.
Who does?
Yeah, but like sometimes I think I don't take them as well as I should take them.
Do you cut yourself?
Not since ever.
Okay, good.
Because like eventually I did move on, and the next big relationship I had was another girl in Banning, and the same thing freaking happened. I got cheated on again.
And then you're like, now it's
And this is already like after high school and stuff, and like I met her, I knew her from school, and then like she worked in the mall that I worked at also. So so we were catching up and getting friendlier with each other, and it eventually led to a little relationship, and I was enamored once again. I get enamored. I like people.
You do.
So and then the same thing happened again, like a few months later. I mean, granted, it was in a shorter time frame.
Figure out that it was the type of girl that you were kind of like drawn to.
Cheaters.
And it wasn't just your fault. Like it was a certain characteristic in these girls that you were liking.
I don't really.
Like
I was trying to think about it because
And then you remember that a lot of other guys are picking up on that same characteristic. And these girls are very low self-esteem, so they're just like, I don't know why I'm not happy still, so I'm just going to keep jumping
The girl
around.
I lost my virginity to was very low self-esteem.
There you go.
So, but the one I'm talking about now isn't. She's actually very
Are you
perky.
sure?
That I know of.
Okay.
I mean, this is the personality she showed to me as a friend and as a boyfriend. So, I mean, I'm only going off of what she's showing me. But from what I saw, I mean, there was no low self-esteem that I know of. But we were only dated for a few months, though.
Yeah.
So,
And then at the same time, you got to remember that these girls are also 18, 19, and they just want to bang. because you can.
Well,
And
then
they're
I
not
mean,
ready
do
for
it.
a long-term relationship,
then
but
do
they
it
don't
the
know how to
right-
tell you
Because I'm so nice, right?
Because they have low self-esteem and poor communication skills.
Yeah, well,
So it's not your fault.
In hindsight, yeah,
Mike,
that
Mike, it's not your fault.
don't do this, man.
It's not your fault.
Don't do it, man. Not you.
I need to put my beard on.
Yeah.
Mike.
So I mean, like,
Mike, it's not your fault.
and because it happened, like I just kept thinking, I kept putting down myself, and
Did you think you'd never find anybody that wouldn't break your heart?
exactly. I mean, and it's hard. It's hard on your self-esteem, and
Did you listen to Lionel Richie songs and say,
someone hurt you. Someone hurt you, Lionel Richie.
Lionel Richie.
So I mean, that does a number on your self-esteem, and there was like a time period where I just didn't want to deal with any relationship, period.
Mm-hmm.
And
Is that where you learned more about yourself, though?
and that's a good thing. I mean, like,
Yeah.
it's good to work on yourself. It's good to be single sometimes.
Definitely. Especially in your early adulthood.
Because when I was single, I was able to have 2 one-night stands.
And that no one can ever take away from you.
Yeah. I got my virginity back.
My one-night stand virginity is back.
Yeah, so, so what do you think? You think I overreacted, or it's just like...
I don't think you... Well, you overreacted, yes.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anything wrong with that. If you
Okay.
were still at 26 being like, that stupid 16-year-old bitch still hurt me and I still can't be in a relationship, then yeah, I would be more concerned. But
Okay, yeah.
you responded the way that I think most people do when they break
Okay.
up at 16. Because of course you're going to personalize it on yourself and
Yeah.
internalize it and be like, it's something
Because I mean,
did
like, yeah,
wrong
it's
because-
got to be. That's what I thought too. It has to be something wrong with me, because these girls keep cheating on me. I've never cheated on anyone. Period. And I never will.
yeah.
I mean, that's just how I am. That's just how my morals work.
Yes.
I don't believe if you're going to be in
That's
a real
why you're attracted to people who will.
Yeah, exactly, right.
Or you were at the time.
But I believe when you have that monogamous contract with someone, when you both mutually agree to be in a monogamous relationship, you should never break that promise. And if you think you are, you
No,
should
you're
probably
break-
end the relationship before you take it too far.
And you're breaking the heart of so many girls listening to you right now who are like, damn it, I thought I'd be
Oh,
able
did I
to
say
get him to
monogamous?
cheat on his wife.
Did I say monogamous? I meant polyamorous.
I'll just put my boobs back in my shirt.
No, girls, please show me your boobs.
We still like to look at boobs even though we're married.
Yeah, and my
Whether
wife
it's our wife's boobs or somebody else's boobs.
and my wife likes to look at ding dongs.
Ding dongs, yes, as we go back to 5th grade.
Oh dear. So, well, that's good to hear that you've never had your heart ripped out and stepped on.
Well,
and-
you got to remember my friend who lost his virginity and
Right.
wasn't happy about it. The girl he lost his virginity to was the girl that I was in love with from like age 12 through 15
to today.
Yeah, and 12 to 15 is only 3 years, but
Right.
in your life terms,
in teenage years, that's like half your life.
Yeah, it's freaking huge. And I mean, I wrote letters to this girl, anonymous letters, and
Oh.
I left
I
it
did.
in her
I did
mailbox.
that. I did that too. I
it
was
yeah,
creepy.
and then like I was inspired by the Friends episode when like Ross and Rachel finally got together
Aw.
in like, whatever 96.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's it. I'm writing her a letter. And so
It works so well in the sitcom.
I watched that and I was like, fuck this. And I went and I wrote like this 2-page letter to her professing my love and blah, blah, blah. And she wrote me back and was just like, yeah, I know you. I've known
Leave me
you liked
alone,
me
loser.
forever, and it'll never happen.
Aw,
and
friend
I'm sorry
zone.
that I banged your friend. And I don't even live in the same state anymore.
Aw.
And it's probably better for you to move on.
Aw.
And so I was kind of like forced to do that at 15, which is not so easy
That's
to do.
heartbreaking.
And then, of course, you're like, what is it, me? It's me. It's all
Yeah.
me. It's because I'm fat. It's because I'm blonde. It's because...
It's because you're blonde.
And it's because my eyes aren't as pretty as my other friends. And
To be fair, your friend's eyes are dreamy.
they are. They are.
But now you and I are happily married now. Well, I'm happily married. Are you happily married?
Yes.
I
I had to think about it.
Let me think about it for a minute. So another thing that they brought up in this movie was, and a big theme of it is marriage. And have you always believed in the contract of marriage?
I went through a period of time where I was just like, marriage is for suckers.
Yeah, same
And
here.
You go through that rebellious early adulthood period.
I never really understood the especially in nowadays, the concept of marriage and how we're coming to learn the human brain a little bit more, how we're not really monogamous animals. We're just kind of existing to spread our seed in a way. But, I think it is kind of beautiful. Marriage I'm talking about. I think it's beautiful how you have, and Mike Birbiglia brought this up, how you're kind of professing to your family and friends, say, hey, this person used to be a stranger, but now they're family.
Ooh.
I thought that was very beautiful when you said that.
Just a stranger like yesterday.
Yeah.
Because
like all relationships,
said, marry me.
Yeah, most relationships they start off as strangers. I mean, and it's a beautiful thing how you can take two people who've never met before and build that into being together for the rest of their lives and having a family.
And it's amazing how fast you can get it done if you're holding a gun to the other person.
Exactly. Yeah.
It works. It works on so many levels. They'll learn to love me.
Yeah.
Because I have more ammunition.
So what was your reasoning behind not wanting to get married?
I thought it was like an archaic thing when I was going through my
same here.
I was like, oh, that's for old people, and who cares? It's just like, I can live with somebody forever. I don't need
tradition.
A piece of paper to show my love.
A piece of paper, yeah. I said the piece of paper.
And I mean, I thought that way, but I didn't like hold hard. Like, I'm definitely never going to get married.
Yeah.
And then one day, my wife and I were talking about it before we were married, and she basically said that her view was that she didn't want to live with me until she knew we were at least getting married.
Oh.
And I was just like, sounds good to me. I mean, it wasn't like she had to twist my arm or anything. It was like, no, screw you. You don't understand. It's just a piece of paper.
Yeah,
I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Let's get married. And so I think I proposed shortly thereafter.
See, for my wife, before we got married, like we both discussed, and she was kind of in the same boat as I am. She doesn't really think, well, we don't have to get married. I mean, it's not like
we have a baby together.
Yeah, we had a baby before we got married, so so shoot me.
Yeah. Socialist.
Yeah. What? So I mean, like we talked about it even before we had the baby. Actually, we talked about it like the concept of marriage, and she was kind of in the same boat. Like we don't have to get. I don't have to. Just because we're not married doesn't mean we can't be together for the rest of our lives or so forth. But as we started living our lives together, and then we eventually had our beautiful daughter, and we started weighing the options of not being married versus being married, and there's definitely, at least in this country, more benefits to being married.
Yeah. That's
especially legally, because now that we're married, I can provide health insurance from my work to my wife.
Extremely helpful.
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. If I didn't do that, we'd have to sign some sort of paper saying that we're in a domestic partnership, civil union kind of thing, which basically means you're married, I guess. Anyway, but like
common law, which
common law,
California
has
that.
That's what I meant, common law.
Yeah.
So
I don't think California has those though.
Yeah.
Anymore.
Maybe.
Whatever.
I don't know.
But when I would compare how much taxes were taken out of my paycheck compared to my single friends,
the tax,
I was just like, wow, that's a huge difference just for being married.
Yeah.
Like I'm bringing home. Yeah, I don't need to say how much, but it was a pretty significant amount where I was like, I would really miss that extra money if I wasn't getting that.
The first paycheck I got after I got married was incredible. I loved it.
And even when my wife wasn't working, I was like, at least we're bringing home an extra blah-blah-blah amount of money.
Yeah.
Just because we're married.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like she's contributing already.
It's good, yeah.
And every child you have is another deduction.
If you want to look at them that way, yeah.
True.
You're just a tax deduction. That's really the only reason why
Here
we had
comes
you.
Another deduction.
We're 6 months away to that deduction, people.
Can I claim them when they're still in utero? So yeah, I mean, I was easily swayed. It wasn't like a huge thing that needed to twist my arms. Like, oh, okay, I'll get married. Adam married. That's an interesting concept that I didn't think would happen 3 years ago.
Oh yeah.
Because at that point, when I was going through marriage is stupid, I was also thinking nobody will ever want to ever get married to me too. So this is just my oppositional way of just.
So is this you putting down yourself in a way?
Because of my own self-esteem issues at that time. So
that's a shame.
It was at the time, but
now that I think about it, I can probably pinpoint my anti-marriage rants.
Probably tied into a breakup or something like that.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I can't pinpoint exactly when, but it was pretty consistent, like throughout my teens. And young adult is like, oh, I don't have to get married just to please my parents or whatever.
To please society and Obama.
Stupid society. Obama's trying to get me get married. I say no, Obama.
I know for me, I started writing Charles Manson lyrics on my wall during that time.
Same here. Yeah.
And for some reason, I put on like 100 pounds during those years. So there was like a lot of women
More
not wanting to be
self-esteem
around
issue.
me. Yes. It was like, what's for breakfast? I don't know, a double cheeseburger from Carl's Jr.? Yeah.
Why not? It's there.
It's there.
Yeah.
But at my school, Carl's Jr. was right there.
Oh,
for
well, we
breakfast.
just put an egg on it, and it's breakfast.
There was no eggs at that time. It was just pure beef.
Oh, then you can just eat double eggs tomorrow morning, and then to make up for the
That
lack
could
of
work,
egg.
except I still wasn't eating eggs as much as I was eating a lot of hamburgers.
Well, if you're gonna eat all the hamburgers, the last thing you need is all that protein. So
Oh, those were the days, I tell you. I'm like, I'll eat something healthy by not getting a double cheeseburger.
Yeah.
Just get a regular cheeseburger.
right.
That's healthier.
So we are happily married, like as I said. But what about the concept of relationships in general? Like there's more and more evidence that suggests that we're kind of forcing ourselves to be monogamous creatures in a way. Please the idea of having a family. What are
Because
your
our parents can get crazy?
Well, just
sometimes
because
when
that's
you're 25 and not married.
well,
yet.
that's just because of normal society pressures to be in a relationship. What we're gonna say, Christian, 1-on-1, maybe with the family in the future. But so, like, do you think that's something that may go away sometime, like a few decades?
I hope so. Again, Gen
Yeah.
Y, we can all change this way of thinking by not pressuring our kids to
Yeah.
get married and pressuring other people to get married.
Yeah, sometimes I have trouble letting my daughter watch the early Disney princess
Like Little
movies,
Mermaid
where
and-
all they wanted was to get married.
Right.
And Snow White was 13 years old, by the way.
Why am I not married yet? Ninth grade is right around the corner.
All the kids are gonna make fun of me.
I can't enter high school unwed.
So I mean, like, it's definitely strange to think of a world where, marriage is actually not the norm, and we're free to just kind of.
So we can blame Disney.
We can blame Disney. I think
Probably.
that and it's kind of a senile way of thinking too, just to think like, oh, in the future we don't have to worry about marriage. We can just kind of bounce from one person to another, and it'll just be the normal thing. That's just because we're
That's like moving back to just being animalistic. I think, yeah, definitely. And one of the building wealth things we talked about getting married, buying a house, and having kids.
Right.
That's kind of the way you build wealth. And Mike said, yeah, but wealth can be arbitrary.
Somewhere in there. Yeah, that's a different topic though. But, once
that's all about, but-
homosexual relationships starts to become the norm, what do you think the social conservatives will pick on next? The polyamorous, the polygamists?
Yeah, I don't know if the polygamists will come out of the Mormon closet.
Well, you can be polygamous without being Mormon.
Well, yeah, but you know what I mean.
So what do you think of? But what do you think of like relationships with more than two people involved?
You mean like a bigamy relationship,
Bigam-
like Big Love was?
Big love, yeah.
I think
polyamorous,
that was a bad idea.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't think it
because-
could work?
No, because he had to buy like 3 houses, one for each wife, and he
Oh
was
no,
the
no.
only
I'm
one
talking
working.
about where they live together.
No, that's too many people.
Okay, 4 people.
That's a drain on resources. That's like more people who need food and water and gas. And
well, I mean, like
heat
people who have big
and-
families. I mean, like.
No, but
Oh,
then a dude like that's going to have 8 kids with each wife, and then you're just
You don't
it
have-
just keeps on growing.
You don't have to have
Nope.
8 kids with big wife. You
Nope.
can just
Not
okay.
gonna happen.
Okay, let me give you an example then. Okay, a husband, a wife, another husband who's involved with the other 2, and another wife. So 2 men, 2 women, and they're all in a relationship with each other. I saw this on Nat Geo.
Yes,
That's where I
this
got
was
that.
Some TV show.
Yeah.
I think it's weird.
You think it's weird?
Mm-hmm.
Are you tolerant of it? At least?
Nope.
Holy shit! The bigot comes out. I think
say
it could
no.
definitely work, though. I mean, it works. And we brought this up one time. We brought this up in episode 9. Actually, I think it could definitely work the same as every relationship contract works. So you just
It would
got
be a
to.
very interesting contract.
You need trust
I'm just
between
saying
every
the more,
person.
the
Yeah.
more people you get, the more complicated it gets.
And
Because
you got to be open with it at the beginning.
nobody
From
is
what
going
I-
to be that open.
I've never been in a
for that
poly.
long.
I've never been in a poly relationship, but from what I know, from what I've heard and what I've read, that they make it clear when they go out on dates. I'm in a poly relationship right now. If you're okay with that, we can continue dating, and I'll introduce you to my family.
Mm-hmm. I'm just saying, the more people you get involved, the more complicated it gets. You have enough differences
then why-
between two people trying to make one relationship work. You bring in a third, a fourth, a fifth. It's just going to get more and more
Well,
complicated.
then by that logic, you might as well not
You
date.
should
Period.
watch Big Love and find out how difficult it is to carry on more
I don't
than one
think
wife.
I don't think the exploits of
And
one
then
poly
he
family.
ran for state senator
Oh, nice.
and then came out as a polygamist after he was elected.
That's a fictional show, isn't it?
I'm just saying.
Holy
it's
shit!
told-
You were giving me examples from a fictional show.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, Adam.
Oh. I don't know what.
I thought you were talking about some sort of like documentary show.
Every
on, like,
time I thought to
Discovery Channel or
myself,
something.
like, a second wife would sure be nice, I would think back to what I learned on Big Love and how
that's a fictional show written for drama.
they were all like, oh, yeah, we're totally in agreement. This is fine. Whatever. It's cool. And I love my sister wives. And,
Yeah.
And he can, spend 2 days a week with me and 2 days a week with her and 2 days a week with the other one. And we all spend Sunday together. And no.
We shouldn't
It's all
base
bad.
all poly relationships on a fictional
I'm
show
basing it
written
on
for
Tom
drama.
Hanks wrote it. I trust him. He's the next president of this United States.
That is true. You're very right
He
about
went
that.
to the moon.
He was stranded on a deserted island.
He went
also.
around the moon.
And he was also stranded on an island. And
I know.
He played a retard very well.
You ain't got no legs, Lieutenant Dan. Jenny. Is he
So-
smart or is he stupid?
So with that said, do you have any last thoughts on the concepts of marriage and relationships and breakups? I mean, and do you as a public servant, quote unquote public servant, have anything to say to people who are going through difficult relationships?
Get into some therapy because you're going to need it
Okay.
badly.
Any last thoughts on the concept of marriage and relationships?
I don't have too much of an opinion if you don't agree with marriage.
Yeah.
But
To each
if
their
you're
own.
going to get
basically,
into a
right?
relationship, make sure the other person is okay with it. And remember that when you get into a relationship at 20 and both of you are like, marriage isn't that big of a deal, by the time you're 35,
probably going to
it's
get
going to
married.
be a big deal to one of you. So just be prepared for
Someone's going to pressure, when you're in a relationship that long, someone's going to pressure you
that. Yeah,
to get married.
definitely. And if it's not your family, it'll be either the husband or the wife, or the man or the woman, or it'll be one of the people in the
Yeah,
relationship.
somebody will get pressure somebody, and then it'll be a difficult subject to bring up. And
It will be.
yeah, so make sure you guys communicate that, and make sure you're in agreement of what you want.
Exactly.
Yay!
And I could say more on this, but I won't.
Let's watch Sleepwalk with me when it comes out on DVD.
I will watch it, hopefully
Alright.
naked, like we are now.
Yeah, exactly.
Always in the nude.
Touching penises.
Yeah.
Bing, bing, bing.
We'll get our wives to watch it in the nude as well. And
Yeah,
We'll invite
We'll
some
get-
other couples over,
we'll get
married
this,
or unmarried,
Yeah, we'll get this group sex inevitably going.
and we'll laugh and cover each other in chocolate sauce. And it'll happen.
Can I lick a little off you? You look delicious, by the
Now,
way.
when we all get married together, though, this is going to get really
Okay.
complicated.
No, it won't. I'm
Okay.
telling you.
As long as we trust each other,
We gotta provide the trust, and it's gotta be constant trust and constant communication.
and
It's gonna be hard work, but
Yeah.
it's gonna work, man.
Mike will be the king.
Sound off! So I know we've been hyping Adam's sound off this
Mike
whole
will be-
show.
Mike will be the alpha.
Yeah, I will be the alpha in our poly
Because he can
relationship.
trust better than the rest of us.
Probably. Yeah. I've been hurt so much that I'm allowed to
That's
trust.
true. That's true.
So
Sound off.
sound off. It's sound off time. Since we've been hyping Adam's sound off all episode, I'm gonna go first. Let him round up the end of the show. So this past week, one of my favorite movies that came out this year. I haven't decided if it was one of my favorite movies of all time yet. I'll have to see it on DVD multiple times. But The Dark Knight Rises actually made over $1 billion.
Dun dun.
Christopher Nolan has done it again. He did it first time with The Dark Knight.
God.
And he did it again
Did he
with...
need more money? I mean, is that really what was going on here?
It doesn't hurt.
And Inception made...
Inception didn't make $1 billion, but it
Wow.
made a shit ton of money.
Yeah. I tried watching that again a couple weeks ago,
Yeah.
and I got tired. So
Really?
I turned the channel.
Oh.
No, I'm sorry. It just
love
wasn't
that
that
movie.
interesting to me anymore.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I know.
Christopher Nolan is starting to become one of my favorite directors after like David Finch. Good director, man. That's really all I got to say about that. Dark Knight Rises made over $1 billion.
It made $1 billion, and I hope...
Are we surprised though?
Can Nolan, what's his name?
Christopher Nolan?
Christopher Nolan. Can he give some of that money to his fans?
I would like it.
He should send you back at least the $15 or whatever.
That's true, yeah.
Then he wouldn't have $1 billion.
Christopher Nolan, if you're listening, please send a check to the Skinny.
And maybe drop some money off in Aurora, Colorado while
Yeah.
you're at it.
That would hurt. That would help. In goodwill.
Yeah.
All he did was kind of send Batman down there. Hey, Batman, why don't you just go cheer those guys up?
And buy some more hair dye for the shooter.
Yeah. Oh.
Orange hair dye.
All right, so now that we've hyped it up as much as we can, Adam, you have a sound off.
My sound off
been very
is a
busy yesterday.
callback to way before we even started this podcast.
Okay.
Because that was when we first got our tickets for this show, and when Mike and I were discussing what we would discuss on this podcast, and I said, I can talk about how I'm going to go see the Book of Mormon.
Whoa!
On September 7th.
Nice.
Which I did last night, and I hate musicals. I've been to plenty. I saw Wicked, which was the last one, and that was like 6, 7, 5, I don't know. It was a while ago now that I saw
promised
that.
my daughter I'd take her to see Wicked. So.
Well, it's good for a little girl. For a 26-year-old guy, it's not.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked The Phantom of the Opera. I was a Andrew Lloyd Webber kid for some reason when I was a kid, and so like
it's hard not to like that.
I
play.
think so.
It's very well done.
Like I was just all into that when I was 10. So I grew away from them, and now watching Wicked, I was laughing the whole time, and I don't think I was supposed to.
Laughing
but what
at
was
them,
great
yeah.
about the Book of Mormon was that that's exactly what it was. It was the entire anti-musical. It was funny songs. It was funny, over-dramatic.
Very
dancing.
self-aware.
Yeah, and it was terrible language.
Yeah.
So again, Mom, you don't want to see the Book of Mormon.
And we should.
There's a lot of
for those
C
of
words in
you,
there.
for those of you who don't know, the Book of Mormon is a musical, and it's done by Matt Stone and Trey Parker from South Park fame.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, and it's just about these guys who are door-to-door Mormon guys, and they go on their mission, and they have to go to Uganda, and they're
the wonderful country of Uganda.
and hilarity ensues. I mean, the fat guy is awesome, and they have an entire Mormon hell dream thing, which is so fucking funny. I mean, like I said, it was like watching a 2-hour South Park episode that never really got boring. So it was just perfect, and Jesus was there, and the whole Mormon story with Joseph Smith,
which is pretty accurate.
Yeah.
It's done for comedy, but it's pretty
Totally.
accurate, right?
And when he's dancing, holding the golden plates, I was like, this is perfect because this is exactly what I would have. This is the musical that I would have made.
Yeah.
I decided that if Mike and I sat down and wrote a musical, this is exactly what it would be.
Oh yeah, pretty
without
much.
a doubt.
Well, what would your wife call it? The atheist circle jerk?
Yes, the atheist circle jerk, because there's plenty of atheist humor. There's plenty of child rape humor. There's child abuse humor.
And it's very anti-theist. Yeah.
Yeah. There's racist humor, and I mean, there's all sorts of weird things. And I was sitting next to some very old people in my seat. Who, the dude, he had white hair. He had a white mustache. He was probably 70-ish.
He was forced into
He
the,
was
to go to the
not
show?
enjoying it nearly as much as I was.
Did he know what it was about when he?
I don't know. There were
That's
so
so
many
strange, yeah.
older people there, like 60 and over.
Oh, it's a
crowd.
musical. It can't be offensive.
And you can tell by looking at some people that, because Mormons have a look.
Were they actual Mormons?
So these were like the recovering Mormons because that because they were the young guys who know of.
They were the missionaries.
Yeah, they were the ones who probably left the church, but still kind of have that very white look.
It's a sore spot in their bodies.
And like the crowd was loving it. I mean, there was so much laughing going on. The only tough part was with, the accents
Yeah.
during the songs. I know that I missed a lot of dialogue.
And you were
because of
sitting
that.
pretty far back?
We were sitting up at the top,
Yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
But it was so when you have like 15 African singers singing over and over again, like all in this giant. I mean, the acting and the singing is incredible.
Yeah.
In it, and so when they all are singing together, it's really hard to follow along with every single word, and you're going to miss jokes here and there. So when the Mormon guys are singing and they don't have an accent, then it's a little bit easier. But just to like I don't know what to say without like
It sounds
giving
awesome.
away
Yeah.
stuff. And I thought it was just going to be like, oh, that was funny.
Yeah.
But no, it was like absolutely the most perfect thing. And I I texted Mike at intermission and I said, this will be the official musical of The Skinny with Mike and Adam.
So we should actually talk about it every day, like as if they are our
so.
sponsors.
I think we should and encourage everybody to go see it. It just barely started in
Who would
LA
you
this
Who
week.
would you recommend the show to?
Anybody that doesn't mind laughing at, like I said, child rape, child abuse,
Which is hilarious, by the way.
a lot of butt sex humor.
Well, who doesn't like butt sex?
It's like if you like South Park, you're gonna like this.
Yeah.
And I don't know what else to say about it.
Here's a harder
It's
question: who wouldn't you recommend this to?
Real Mormons?
Yeah, they wouldn't. I don't think they'd take it very well.
I don't think they would. But at the same time, like, it does a good job of not being too hurtful to Mormons at the same time. It at least hypes some of their good values.
At least they're not making stuff up.
Yeah,
basically.
like they want people to be happy and to find
Yeah.
good in life and to be family focused and stuff like that.
Sweet.
Not bigamist. They don't even actually they really don't talk about.
They don't
the
play that
polygamy
up very much?
the polygamy that much, but you know everything else is there. And it's
Sweet.
incredible. And
I can't wait. I definitely want to see that one day.
yeah, and Jesus is. Yeah, I don't know who was playing Jesus, but he did a great job. And
You can't spoil anything about Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Okay.
the whole scene where like the fat guy. It's basically he's doing an entire song, and he's communicating with just all of these random creatures that basically like he's talking to them in his mind.
Yeah.
but they're really behind him talking to him.
Yeah.
So you can tell that he's like having a conversation. They're telling him like, "Don't say that," and don't say this, and but he's just like, "No, it's not important." And it gets more and more ridiculous as it goes on. And
Oh, I can't wait to see it. And folks, if you guys have seen it, please let us know. Comment below, and you can actually maybe chat with Adam about it for a while.
I don't know how long ago it came out in New York.
Oh, it was a couple
years.
years, yeah.
Because it just barely came to LA this week.
Is that right?
This is the first week, and it'll probably be here for a long time. It wasn't
that's
the
good.
original cast or anything,
Okay.
but it's just a different fat guy and a different lead character guy. Like those two guys went off, and now they're
Well, it's good.
on
So it
shows.
made enough money to start going cross country now. That's good.
And it's one of those ones where, like, if they did a movie, would it work? I don't know.
It's hard to translate musicals into movies.
Well, they've done it plenty of times, but
not very successfully all the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
But you know, they do
Phantom
it
of the
anyway.
Opera is one thing. And
Yeah, they do it anyway, and it may be like 10 years from now that they do a movie, but
they just want the moolah.
yeah. But it's like when Mike and I get to that point where we decide to write something that's actually scripted.
Yeah.
I mean, we can do this. We can make it work.
Let's do it, son.
Yes, we can write songs because that's how they said they were doing it. They were writing funny Mormon songs for South Park, and then they realized they had like 15 of them, and they said we might as well just turn this into a musical.
Nice. Well, we might as well just start now.
We might as well.
Well, we should probably
Charles Manson.
a Charles Manson musical.
It could work.
There we go.
We'll have
You got to make
think
it
of a
more
concept.
offensive and more
Even
heartfelt. A lot more child rape in this one.
Definitely.
So with that bad taste in your mouth, audience, we're gonna sign off and let you guys go. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. Go USC.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, your
Yeah,
college
USC
football.
won last week. I don't know how they're doing in
Yes,
the.
we're recording this on Saturday, so we don't know. Adam wore his shirt, so we don't know.
and I'll be wearing it.
Yeah.
For most Saturdays to come.
It's gonna get like a bunch of moth holes.
It already looks torn up.
Yeah.
Anyway, like it's ironic.
So thanks again for listening. We're gonna have this on download again. Like I mentioned, we're gonna work on a redesign of the Facebook page, possibly to coincide with the Blogspot page that we're planning to. So keep an eye out for those. Like I mentioned, please like us on Facebook. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Please share our page with your friends and family members that you don't like.
Yeah.
Because those are probably who you want to recommend the show
If you
to.
like the Book of Mormon, then recommend it to friends who would also like the Book of
Yes, exactly.
Because, I mean, everything Mike and I talk about was pretty much covered in that play. And as I'm watching it, I'm like, this is like our podcast
exactly,
turned
yeah.
into a musical.
And if anybody has a spare ticket to the Book of Mormon, I just want you to know that I love you very much, and I will do pretty much any sexual favor for you.
Sounds good.
All
I wish I
right.
had an extra ticket now.
There you go, Adam. Yeah, you had your chance, and you had to bring your freaking wife.
I mean, it was her idea. She was dragging me to it. I didn't even want to
Exactly.
go initially.
Well, thank you guys again. Hopefully we'll hear from you guys next week. See ya.
Yeah, that's my dogs. They're barking. Âraw! They're barking at the mailman because they hate the news. So that's the argument.